Well, hello there, and welcome to another J&J Tabletop video. My name is Jake, and today I want to talk to you about what I call the ABCs of creating characters. Now, these concepts are designed to work with any tabletop role-playing game, so it doesn't matter if you're a fan of Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, Star Wars Saga Edition, or really anything else that's out there. These concepts are designed to help you get the most out of your characters, whether you're looking to make kind of more silly characters or have deep role-playing experiences. They're designed to help you go as far as you'd like to with it. So, without further ado, let's start with the letter A, actionable. And to me, this is all about what is it that's going to spur your character to act, and how do they just typically prefer to make decisions. It doesn't mean they can't make decisions based out of anything, but there's a certain comfort here. It's a preference, right? And I break this down into three categories. The first of which is logical. There are many people out there that when they're faced with some kind of choice, it doesn't really matter what the choice is, they like to just look at what their options are and just pursue the one that makes the most sense, at the very least to them. There is a certain simplicity, there's a certain formulaic way that a character like this could approach life and approach situations, and I think they derive comfort from using this kind of an approach. Now, the second lane or second way in which I could see someone preferring to make choices is their emotions. And they could be fear motivated. Maybe they're afraid of certain consequences, and that's why they do things to prevent it. Perhaps it could be a little bit more active, right? Maybe they're angry at something and that's why they chose to thwart it. Or maybe they're just drawn to joy or happiness, and there's just something about, there's what do you call it? YOLO, right? You only live once, so I'm going to try and live life to its fullest and just be as happy as I possibly can. And if there's some kind of like epic looming threat, well, that would obviously threaten your happiness, so that's why you're motivated to go ahead and try and stop things. And the last way or preference that I see people generally making decisions would be their beliefs. Now, this doesn't have to be a faith-based character, right? It doesn't have to be like a cleric or a paladin. It could just be something that this character of yours believes in, and that's what will spur them to act. Perhaps they believe in kindness. And so if they see someone being mean, even if it doesn't make sense to act, or even if they're really not feeling it in the moment, that belief system they have might spur them to speak up on someone else's behalf. Or perhaps they believe in making sure you get everything you can, so they're just this miserly Ebenezer Scrooge that just believes money is power, so that's what they're doing, right? There is a certain way that your character's belief system can override logic and can override what you're feeling. All three of them actually can override each other. It's all about what way is your character most comfortable making decisions. And now we come to my favorite concept, B, which stands for believable. Now, to me, this is when your character really comes alive. You already have an idea of the way that your character is most comfortable making decisions, so you've got a leg up in understanding what's going to make them uncomfortable. And I'm going to use my character Milo from Eve of Ruin as an example. You can watch this playthrough on our channel. I would encourage you to do that. I think it's a great playthrough. But Milo is a halfling wizard, so I think the natural inclination there would be like, oh, he's a wizard. He probably wants to make logical choices. No, Milo's preferred method of making decisions actually is his belief system. And one belief that he has is he likes to be neat, he likes to be clean, and he likes to be well put together, and he thinks it's just good to put his best out into the world, put his best foot forward, if you will. So, because of that, anytime he gets dirty, anytime Josh describes Milo as like, oh, it's very sticky, like it's an immediate, he casts prestidigitation, he has to clean it up. And if he ever sees Aradel or Biggest sticky or dirty in some way, he's like, all right. So sometimes I'll just say he does it, like if it's too much, he'll just cast prestidigitation. Or he might be like looking at them and like they know, like we've never had the conversation that Milo is a bit of a neat freak, but I just feel like it's something that comes through. And to me, not only am I having more fun playing him, there's just a certain level of believability about Milo as a character that I just enjoy. I just think it makes the experience much more rich. Now, beyond just trying to figure out what makes your character comfortable and uncomfortable, this is the time to just fill in anything that might be important. Now, your dungeon master or game master might give you specific things to think about, and that's always a good spot to start. But I start to think about like little quirks, right? Like maybe they just fiddle with their hair, or what is it that makes your character laugh? I think that's a really good one. Is there something that your character might easily take offense at? Maybe your character just really loves to eat food, and you want to ask yourself, why do they love food so much? Now, that could be a very deep question, like that's how their family always seemed to connect, and it's just how they understand bonding with other people. Or it could just be like, I just think food is awesome and it tastes good. Like, you can take this concept as deep or as shallow as you want. You could, if you're a fan of the show Community and you're inspired by Hector the Well Endowed, maybe that's all I'll say about that. But this kind of section here, this works for deep characters. It works for shallow characters, if you will, really anything you're looking to do. But I think just asking maybe like who or what is important to your character is a great spot to start. And you can just take it from there. What kinds of things do you think might be important to your character or to making a character? Let me know in the comments section. And now we come to C, which stands for Curated. Now, that's kind of a little bit of a different lane, but this really is kind of like a catch-all. So if you're just struggling with a character concept, maybe you're not entirely sure where to draw inspiration from, I like to curate whether it's fictional characters from like a book, a TV show, a movie, or really anything that I just enjoy. It doesn't have to be a fantasy or sci-fi character either. I've talked about this in our NPC video, but in our Dragon of Icespire Peak gameplay, I made Barthen. I think his name's Barthen. I designed him after Ron Swanson because I think Ron Swanson's incredible. He's just fun. But take from characters that you love and incorporate them when necessary, or if necessary, into your character concept. You could also draw from experiences you've had in real life. Maybe you have a teacher that you really identified with, or you have a funny aunt or uncle that's like just everything they do just speaks to you in some way, shape, or form. It's probably a good idea maybe to not use people in your game to inspire or to necessarily make a direct comparison to, because that could just get weird if that ever comes out. But basically what I'm saying is draw from what you know and pour it into your character. And there's tons of characters and tons of stories that have been told in which I think you could really, really find a lot of just good, solid material to pull from. And you might only need just a little bit in order to get you started. I mean, you might just be like, they're cranky. Okay, there's somewhere to go with that. And you could probably jumpstart your character's creation quite easily by just thinking about what you enjoy. I would love to know if you've ever played a character that just seemed to have that little extra to them, that you just enjoyed playing them a little bit more because of maybe something I mentioned or some other method you used. I'd love to hear about it in the comments section below. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy playing characters using these tips. And until next time, as my friend Baron from the Blue Dragon Guild would say, keep the dice rolling.